Have you ever wondered why some companies just seem to work, like a well-oiled machine, while others feel like total chaos? Well, the secret is usually hidden in plain sight. It's their organizational structure. And in this explainer, we're going to decode this invisible architecture and show you how the blueprint of your company really dictates everything.
I mean, just think about it. When was the last time a really simple task at work got completely tangled up in red tape? Or maybe you just had no idea who to even ask for a decision. That friction, that frustration, that is a direct result of organizational design. Getting it right is absolutely crucial, but getting it wrong can bring even the most brilliant teams to a grinding halt.
So, okay, how do you actually prevent all that chaos? It really all boils down to one fundamental question. How do you take a group of people, all with their own unique skills, and arrange them so they can work together effectively toward one single goal?
Well, the answer is a core principle of management, and it's called organizing. As you can see here, it's literally the process of arranging people and resources. You should think of it like creating the wiring diagram for a company. You're making sure that every single part connects and communicates the right way to power the whole machine.
But here's the thing. That official wiring diagram, it's only half the story. The truth is, every single workplace has two structures running at the same time. The one that's on paper and the one that really exists in the hallways and over coffee.
So first up, you've got the formal structure. This is your classic org chart. It's the clean, logical blueprint that shows exactly who reports to whom. It's the ideal version of how the company should work, all designed for order and predictability.
But then there's the informal structure. Some people call it the shadow organization. Now, this network isn't built on job titles. It's built on trust, on friendships, on favors. This is who you really go to for help when the official way is too slow. And honestly, this is often where the real power is.
So on one hand, you've got the planned blueprint, and on the other, you've got this living, breathing social network. The big takeaway here is this. You can't just manage the org chart. If you want to be truly effective, you have to understand the currents of influence that are flowing through that hidden, informal network. All right, so keeping that distinction in mind, let's take a look at the classic formal blueprints that companies have been using for decades. And chances are, you've definitely worked in one of these. First up, we've got the most traditional model of all, the functional structure. This is where you group all the experts together. So, all the marketers are in one department, all the engineers are in another, and so on. It's a system that's really built for deep expertise in one specific area.
And look, this model is popular for a really good reason. It's super efficient, it lets people really master their craft by working with other experts, and it gives everyone a very clear ladder to climb inside their chosen field.
But, and this is a huge but, this structure has a massive Achilles heel. It's the silo problem. And this quote from a former Yahoo CEO just captures it perfectly. Departments get so focused on their own goals that they just stop cooperating. They become more loyal to their little team than to the company's overall mission.
So to fight back against those silos, the divisional structure was born. Now with this one, you don't organize by skill, you organize by focus. You group everyone who works on a single product, or serves a specific customer, or operates in a certain region all into one self-contained unit.
The great thing about this is you get crystal clear focus. Everybody in the division is rowing in the same direction, which boosts coordination and makes it really easy to see which parts of the business are crushing it and which ones are struggling. But then people started asking, why do we have to choose? The next big evolution in organizational design was all about trying to get the best of both worlds, creating these hybrid structures that try to break down those walls even further.
And that brings us to the famous, and yeah, sometimes infamous, matrix structure. The idea here is to get the benefits of both deep functional expertise and that clear divisional focus. So an engineer might report to both the head of engineering and a specific product manager. You basically have two bosses. The whole design is meant to force collaboration across those silos.
The team structure kind of takes this idea and runs with it. Instead of just layering teams on top of a traditional hierarchy, the teams are the hierarchy. These cross-functional groups get formed to tackle projects, which makes collaboration the default, not something you have to force. And now, at the most flexible end of the spectrum, you've got the network structure. This model keeps only a small, essential core of employees in-house, and then outsources pretty much everything else to a network of specialists and contractors. It is the ultimate in agility. A company can scale up or down with incredible speed.
So this constant evolution, right, from these rigid functions all the way to these flexible networks, it brings us to the major trends that are reshaping the workplace as we speak.
Now, all of these structures we've talked about can basically be placed somewhere on a spectrum between two competing ideas. On one side, you have mechanistic designs. Think of traditional bureaucracies. They're centralized, rigid, and built for stability. And on the other side, you've got organic designs. These are decentralized, flexible, and built to adapt to a world that's always changing. And the big trend, the clear, overarching trend, is a massive shift away from those tall, rigid, mechanistic structures. Companies are all moving toward flatter, more organic organizations. They're pushing the power to make decisions down to the people who are closest to the information.
But this whole shift toward flatter, organic structures is completely impossible without one critical skill: delegation. And true delegation isn't just dumping tasks on someone. No, it's a three-step process. You have to assign responsibility, then you must grant the authority to make decisions, and finally, you create accountability for the results. Getting this right is what truly empowers a team.
And this demand for flexibility, it extends way beyond the org chart and right into the workday itself. Fueled by technology and, let's be honest, a huge desire for better work-life balance, we're seeing an explosion in alternative schedules. We're talking compressed work weeks, flex time, telecommuting, job sharing. The classic 9-to-5 just isn't the only way to work anymore.
So as we wrap this up, I want you to think about your own workplace. That invisible architecture we started with, it's all around you. So the final question isn't just whether it's helping or hurting the company, it's whether it's empowering you to do your best work, or if it's holding you back. Because in the end, an organization's structure is only as good as the people it enables.